Hello, everyone, and welcome to Constructed Clash. I'm Heezy, and I'm joined by Matt Lane.
Hey, how's it going?
It's going well, Matt. We're kind of doing like a brand reset today. I'm excited to kind of dive in with you on kind of the new Constructed Clash. We got the hand cam that's going to be in here today. We've got new branding, all kinds of stuff. But for those who don't know, Constructed Clash is just a weekly video series from Constructive Criticism where we test relevant constructive performance and give our thoughts on a matchup and what we learned. Matt and I are both former PT players who just kind of like hanging out, and this is one of the ways that we do it. How it works is we play a best of 5, 2 main board, 3 post board. We have kind of some deck discussions, and then at the end we talk about what we learned. I'm excited for today. Today, I think we're playing modern. We don't have the new cards just yet, but we're playing kind of post-ban modern. And Matt, you decided to play Kethis. You're like, you know what? I wasn't done with with my Moxen, so to speak.
Yeah. It's just a deck that's been cropping up a little bit recently. I think it was kind of sort of looked at as bad grinding station before, or like bad underworld breach. Let's I just kind of want to find out if bad underworld breach is unplayable or if it's just
The best deck.
just worse. Yeah, I'd be really surprised if it were the best deck. That seems very unlikely to me, but it might be playable.
Awesome. Yeah, and I am playing the wonderful Domain Zoo. This is a deck that's actually been doing pretty well online recently. It's putting up quite a few 5-0s. And is kind of one of those decks that gets to like pressure the format while having counter magic, kind of like when Jeskai Boros was a thing. But this one, it's one of the decks that was considered a very good bad matchup for it, and Breach is gone. I'm excited to kind of see, like, does that matter? Is it just Moxen that are bad for me? So
yeah, one thing that's kind of interesting about the Domain Zoo deck in general, like especially playing against it, is that you're playing a 5-color deck that could have literally anything in the sideboard. Like the amount of different cards that I've seen in the sideboard of these Domain Zoo decks is just like mind-boggling. So you could never play around anything playing against that deck.
Yeah, when I was looking at lists for this video, I just took the highest placing list from the person with the most 5-0s, which is Triple Q, and just called it good there.
Sure.
Speaking of which, let's actually go over the decks right now. All right. So first up, we do have the wonderful deck that you are playing. Why don't you talk to me a little bit about Kethis Combo?
Yeah, so basically the general idea with the Kethis combo is that you play a large amount of legendary permanents. You resolve a Kethis, you are able to exile 2 of those legendary permanents from your graveyard to give everything in all the legendary cards in your graveyard flashback, essentially. Actually, it's not quite flashback because
they don't.
I mean, them being permanent cards, they end up just in play. They don't get exiled. Yes, yeah. And they don't have like a Yawgmoth's or a Yawgmoth's Will clause where they get exiled if they go to the graveyard or anything like that. So the idea is that you're able to loop Moxen with Kethis to make a bunch of mana, and then eventually you loop Jace the Perfected Mind to mill your opponent out.
Yeah, you actually have some cards that are interesting to see. Like, I have not played against this deck in a long time now. Is Agatha's Soul Cauldron pretty like standard now?
I mean, your guess is as good as mine. I haven't played this deck since it was like the best thing you could do in Pioneer.
Sure,
So,
sure.
I have no idea. It makes sense. Like Agatha's Soul Cauldron is a nice one to be able to get like Emery effects. I think that's probably the main thing, right? Like obviously you can get Rona effect with it as well, which is not the worst. Actually, it looks like you can actually just copy Kethis' effect, right?
Yeah, you could, yeah.
Okay, so that's even better than that. So this gives you like a way to make Emery just like have the whole combo, right? Like if you mill over Agatha's Soul Cauldron, you can bring it back with Emery and then target Kethis, and that's not even a tap ability either. So like you could just do it immediately.
Yep, that's totally fair.
I don't usually spend a lot of time talking about the mana base of decks, but I will say that the mana base on this particular deck is very fascinating, and I suspect that it is not the best way to go.
Okay. I was gonna say that
I'm
all the Sages was gonna be really good in the matchup.
sure, yeah, the Besages look good. The Besages and the Ottawara make a lot of sense to me. I am less convinced that playing 4 Plaza of Heroes and 2 of Great Hall of the Citadel is correct, and like 3 Mana Confluence is also kind of weird. Like, it doesn't seem like our color requirements are that intense that we need things like Mana Confluence.
Yeah, I mean,
But,
do you
I guess
do you
we'll
just
find
not
out.
believe in Great Hall of the Citadel at all?
Yeah, that card just reads really bad to me. I've never seen one in play or played with or against one, but I'm just like, I'm not even sure why we're doing that. Like I said, our color requirements really don't look that hard. I guess Kethis is hard to cast specifically, but I don't know. I guess we'll see. I hope to be pleasantly surprised.
Well, let's go over Domain Zoo. This is kind of a classic deck in this format. We have. I'm just going to read off my list for the viewers. We have 4 Draco, Sign of Draco, 4 Leyland Binding, 4 Leyland Wheel Deck, 3 Flage, 4 Territorial Kavu, 4 Tribal Flames, 3 Orcish Spellmaster, 2 Emperor Bones, 2 Stubborn Denial, 1 Consigned Memory, 4 Lightning Bolt, and 4 Ragavan Man, making this kind of one of the more aggressive versions of the lists that I saw, as well as having a lot of counter spells on the sideboard in 3 Consigned Memory, 1 Stubborn Denial was a little bit more interesting to me. Just like making sure that I have as much interaction for as little as possible in the deck was something that really interests me. And I also really like Damping Sphere right now, and it had that in the board, so it was one of the reasons that I picked this list.
Okay.
Overall, what do you think the matchup's going to look like?
I have no idea really. I think historically Domain Zoo is pretty good against most of the combo decks. Like, one of the main reasons why that wasn't true against Breach is, first of all, they were so fast, right? Like, they're threatening the combo as early as, technically as early as turn 1,
Right.
but realistically as early as turn 2 or 3. And also that backed up with like Urza Saga and like premium removal in the form of Unholy Heat and like
Yeah.
other things like that. Really made that deck a struggle for Domain Zoo. But like I said, historically Domain Zoo is like a pretty bad matchup for a lot of the combo decks. So I kind of expect this to be favorable for you, especially depending on what your sideboard is as well. Like, I don't know how common like things like Rest in Peace are or something like that, but
Sure. What do you do you have experience? Obviously you probably don't have experience because these decks have not been like players versus each other ever.
yeah, I would guess that not very many people have a ton of experience in this particular matchup.
Yeah, one of the things that I want to do
Really,
is talk.
or breaking new ground, really.
Yeah, one of the things I want to do is talk about data more. During this part of the videos, and there's none. Like there's no data that could be gained on this matchup. So like you said, we're kind of breaking.
Is there actually zero data?
There was 0 data in the last 16 days. I did not go back further than that, but I probably could have.
Yeah, I mean, it's even if there is data, it's going to be such a small sample size that it's going to be virtually useless. But
yeah, that's kind of why I didn't include any
Yeah.
today. But that's going to do it for the pre-show. Before we start, leave a comment. Let us know who you expect to win and by what score. We'd love to hear your guys' thoughts before we start, and we'll get into the games in just one moment. You won the die roll.
I'm so lucky.
I feel like the luckiest, really.
Yeah, this seems like the kind of thing I'm supposed to keep.
I actually need to view my. Is there a way to view your deck? I guess I could just go.
Yeah, there's like if you go to the other window, you can see the deck.
I'm just gonna see. I didn't check my mana, but okay, there's 1 Treyland in the deck. Okay, so there's 1 Treyland, and it does give me. Oh, it doesn't matter. I have a Leyland in the deck.
That's actually interesting. I feel like Maybe I'm wrong, but I thought that some of the lists played 2 before.
Okay, well, I think I'm supposed to keep this with the Leyline now that I'm thinking about it.
Yeah, makes sense. Most hands with Leyline are pretty good.
Yeah, I'd like to put that into play.
I sure hope that these cards work the way that I think that they do.
I also hope they work the way that you think that they do. Yeah, one thing that we is I've actually not played Domain Zoo. Maybe I have played it since the line of the field pack, but very little. And like you said, you haven't played this deck in years.
I'm positive Heroes didn't even exist when I played this deck, so that was the card I was concerned about, to be honest.
Okay.
Let me see here. Is it worth drawing a card? I suppose it is.
Okay.
Well, yeah. I mean, it could definitely end up being wrong. Like, it depends on if I end up needing more mana than.
Is it a good card? Do I want to draw it?
More mana than I obviously do. I don't know. Actually, it's not a card I was expecting you to have in your deck. If that gives you any insight.
Okay.
Alright, so now I think that drawing a card there was a good decision.
Nice. Results oriented.
Yeah.
The question here is the Stubborn Isle worth making him pay 1 to keep it? And I think the answer is no. I'm just supposed to let him...
Seems really unlikely, right? Because even if I did really need it, I could just bring it back with Emery.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a good point. I didn't even think of that.
Yes, now... So I'm always probably bringing back Mox Opal anyway, so I should just do this now.
Yep.
My only land is Beseju, but I'm not convinced that I want to dedicate that as a land at the moment.
Dang, popping off.
Yeah, I guess we just take Tamio, right? Could take Ottawara, that's also kind of interesting, but I think Tamio is fine here.
Okay.
It's still not totally clear if I want to play this Beseju. Like, I guess the thing is I'm not that concerned about Draco, and I do probably eventually want mana in play. Like, Draco kind of feels slow, right? I guess I could have waited, though, on that bobble. I already knew what your next card was. Assuming that you don't decide to fetch. It was Emperor of Bones, by the way.
I knew what it was when you said that, but I didn't... I didn't want to play as though I knew because of what you said.
Sure. Would you have kept that if you had known?
Maybe. I would have thought about it.
Fair enough. Okay. Alright, I think
Think I'm dead?
that I have a win here, yeah. I am.
Let's go!
Let's figure this out, though. I have never done this before, so bear with me. Hold on. I guess I'll just play this. This will make it easier.
Grinding station. Nice. Hit 3 lands. Less noise.
Oh shit! I didn't mean to do that.
Oh shoot! He means shoot, yeah. Folks.
Aw shucks! I did not mean to do that.
Dag flabbit! Gosh darn it!
I think it will be okay, but it is a little bit awkward. I meant to always yes to the grinding station, but not to always yield. I do like that Gemstone Cavern is also legendary. That's pretty cool.
So it's Beseiju?
Yeah, I knew that one, though. That one was more obvious, I guess.
Did you need another color of mana?
No, I don't think so.
Oh, okay.
All I'm going to do is cast Jaces at this point, right?
Oh,
as soon as I find them.
I found a Jace.
Yep, I did find one. How many loyalty does Jace come and play with if I...
5, so it's 20, or it's...
So it's 15 cards at a time, so I need to cast 4 Jaces?
Yep.
Okay.
Let's see, 1, 2, 3. So yeah, I can concede after one more legendary. Here you go.
I mean, yeah, this game's been deterministic for a minute, but let's just let this happen just to make sure that I understand all the moving pieces.
Sounds good. Something that I had not thought about that haven't been paying enough attention to is that you can do both of your legendary artifacts each time that they get flashback.
What now?
So you can do both your legendary artifact. You can flash them back, because isn't it all cards get flashback until
all legendary cards? Yes.
Yeah. So each time you give flashback, you can give it back to both of them.
Giving it back to both of them. I'm not sure what you mean by both of them.
You can bring them both back.
Like the opals and the ambers?
Yeah.
Yeah, I have been.
Okay. Yeah, I hadn't thought of that.
Sure,
That's
sure.
all I'm saying.
Got it.
Don't have to explain anything to him.
So here's the thing. The one reason why I want to continue doing this is because it does get a little bit interesting. Because like I have to reactivate every time that I want to bring back Jace.
Right, which is why I counted the legends in your yard.
Sure. But it also has to do with how much mana I can make with how many cards I have, right?
Sure.
As well. But I think that won't be a struggle at this point because I have so many Moxes, right? Like, I don't think I even need to mill myself anymore. Like, I will, because there's no harm in doing that, but... I guess if I do it with more than one Jace in the graveyard, that also makes it easier.
Yep. As long as you have the mana once again.
Right. There's another Jace somewhere. Oh, here
we go. And I had no cards. What happened?
You lost all the cards in your deck.
All right. I'll be on the play.
That was a pretty good showcase from this deck. Honestly, I was really impressed at how much that all just lined up so well. I mean,
yeah,
we'll see if that ended up being variance, but
I thought something that was interesting is like, had I been on the play, I would have had Stubborn Denial up.
Oh sure, yeah. But what do you even stub there?
Well, the thing is that I left up Stubborn Denial, turn 1, obviously, but I could have, because you didn't go off till turn 3, I could have had Stubborn Denial up for
the cash grab
for anything. Like I could have had the real.
But like,
the real
what I'm saying is, I think it was like even Force of Will there. Like Force of Will would work because it would counter the Kethis, but like I don't think there was a non-creature spell that would have stopped me.
Well, Grinding Station, right?
But I just recast it, right, with the Emery.
Well, you have to untap.
What do you mean?
How do you untap the Emery?
I would have just used the Emery to bring back the Grinding Station. I cast Grinding Station from hand, you counter it, then tap Emery.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. I'm gonna mulligan this one. I'm gonna keep this one.
Yeah, I mean, this is more the kind of hand that I was really expecting. It's probably just a mulligan. Alright, well, this hand is good. It's actually also kind of interesting. I guess I'm just getting too in the weeds if I don't put the Ember back. And I actually have to do this because it's my only... Actually, that's not even true. I guess I didn't need to do this. This is actually almost definitely bad now that I'm thinking about what my hand actually contains.
Okay.
I was thinking that I needed it for Colors of Mana, but I have an Opal, which taps for any color.
And all your lands tap for any color, too.
Well, if I had other lands, then that wouldn't be a consideration, right?
Oh, sure.
I will say, though, that my last hand would have been a keep if it had better lands in it. It had a Plaza of Heroes that couldn't tap for green for a Malevolent Rumble.
Okay.
Yeah, I think just need more cards here. Okay.
All right. Taking the Plaza out of your out of your way.
Yeah, that's unfortunate. I really needed that to be a land or a 0-mana artifact. Actually, pretty punished for sacking the bauble, but it seemed like, I mean, it's hard to call it even punished because I'd have to be omniscient to determine that play was going to be worse. But it did turn out badly.
Sure. Not so cool. Okay, so do I want this? Kind of want it.
Arona.
Oh,
I mean, one thing that's kind of interesting about Rona is that you could transform it to turn on your Stubborn Denial as well. Actually, maybe that's not true. That might be a bait, because I'm pretty sure if you transform it, it comes back on my side.
Bait.
So, never mind that. Don't do that.
Malevolent Rumble. Rumbling in the tumbling.
One 3's looking pretty menacing here. Oh, you have a Stubborn Denial and a Bolt. Hand it here. I think. I mean, I guess honestly, if I drew a Kethis here, we're actually kind of doing it.
No, I just messed up though. I forgot that was at the beginning of combat.
That what was the beginning combat?
The carding was true.
Oh, did you draw the? Oh, Emperor of Bones. I see. Yeah, that is a bit unfortunate.
Yeah, definitely.
I don't necessarily think that it's going. Even if I drew the Kethis here, I don't think it would necessarily have determined the game. Like, I think the Kethis would win regardless. Maybe not though, because the thing is, the actual limiting factor here is my mana. Like, the fact that I don't have Metalcraft is the biggest issue.
Okay.
So I guess I could cast this, and you can decide whether to stub it or not. Probably not that broken up about it if you do stub it. I think the bigger problem is just going to be that this is just going to be a lot of damage. Just need to not. Just taking too much damage. Whoops, Moto. Come on now, Moto. I obviously didn't want to do it that way.
Do you want to stub that?
Yeah, I think it makes sense to stub it. Like I said, I'm pretty concerned about. Actually, if you just exile the Kethis here and adapt. Does it come into play attacking? I can't remember. It does, right? Or it has haste. So yeah, you can resummon the Kethis in combat.
Let me think.
Sure.
So I think that could be good. Let's see here. That is 3. Uh, that's 4 from here. 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, that might be the best play.
Yeah, this is pretty much what I was expecting. I have to block. I think that just saving the life makes the most sense here. Because I could go to 1, but then I shut off my mana confluence. I'm already not even sure what my outs are. Like, I think... Problem is, if I draw the Kethis, I don't think that there's a way for me to get Metalcraft to turn on these opals. Is the biggest
thought that
issue.
you were at 2 higher life. I'm an idiot.
Oh, you had lethal?
Yeah.
Fair enough.
I don't know how I miscounted right there, but
I would love to know what the lethal line was after this game if you'd...
I just had a leyline binding to stop you from blocking.
Oh, okay. Sure. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. This is like a kind of interesting draw, maybe. Needs to be some runners. I don't even know what it could be, though, I guess. So if I bounce, find a Tameo... You have binding, though. I already know it doesn't work, but in theory, yeah.
All right. We will be back to talk about sideboarding. All right, we're here to talk about our sideboard plans. We kind of discussed this a little bit off there. We discussed consigned to memory, which is the first thing that I want to talk about. I had more on the board, but I actually elected to board out the one that I have in the main, as well as the Orcish Bowmasters, because I think that they're just kind of not what the deck is trying to do in the post-board games. And I think consigned, you said it's kind of bad, and I was kind of wondering the same thing. And I just boarded in 2 surgical extractions and 2 dampening spheres. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I'm not totally sure if Damping Sphere is going to be that good either. It's going to be... It will stop me from comboing directly, so there's that.
Yeah, I think it just needs to buy me a couple of turns.
It's just a permanent. Right? Yeah, it's a permanent that I have to deal with.
So, what about you?
Yeah, I think that all of my sideboard cards are somewhere between bad and medium. I'm going to try the extra 2 Teferi Time Ravelers because the thought being that it helps me against your Stubborn Denial plan, and it also, like, again, the thing about Zoo is that, like, I never know what kind of permanents you're going to be bringing in, right? Like, you could have, Damping Spheres, you could have Rest in Pieces, you could have, Gaddock Teague, or so. Gaddock Teague doesn't do anything against this deck, but you understand the idea, right? Like,
Lavinia. Does that stop Chase?
Yeah, it does. Okay, sure. So you could have Gaddock Teague, you could have Lavinia, you could have, any number of things like that. So, like, the Teferi just lets me kind of answer all of those. And then I'm citing in the Urza's Ruinous Blast, which is the Wrath that this deck has in the sideboard. I'm not convinced that that one's good either, but I am willing to try it. The one nice thing about that one is that it is a legendary card to exile to Kethis. I can't flash it back, I don't believe. Oh no, actually that's a lie. I can flash it back. That's pretty interesting. And it costs 1 less too with Kethis. I also didn't.
Boom.
Okay, so there's some reasons to run it.
All right.
Anyway, so the only other difference is that on the play and the draw, I will be boarding in the Gemstone Cavern, the second Gemstone Cavern on the draw.
Cool. Well, you are on the play for the next game, so let's head on right over there. All right. You are on the play this game. This hand produces 5 colors of mana, so I will keep it.
I have to figure out how many lands I'm running really quick.
Okay.
Running 19 lands. How many of them? Not all of them produce blue, though. I think that this is probably a mulligan. Like, between the one gemstone cavern, the forest, and the two other Besagers that don't produce blue, and just the possibility of not playing at all, I think just makes this a mulligan.
Okay. I will keep my hand.
10 is better. I think I just put back Soul Cauldron here. I could honestly have boarded out some of the Soul Cauldrons.
I will just lead on a Floodstream and pass the turn.
I'm pretty fine getting stubbed here. I mean, obviously, you know, I'd rather it didn't get stubbed, but I also don't want to just float 2 mana, so. Pretty good argument for any of these. I think that right now I'm supposed to just take Teferi.
Okay. I'm going to go ahead and crack this. Get a tri-land. Play Scion and pass the turn.
Yeah, most likely I'll just bounce that. I could play this a little greedier and go for a Rumble first, trying to find another mana source. So if I tap the Confluence and use the spawn, any mana source would cast a fairy, pretty much. Obviously, if I brick on a mana source, it's pretty bad, though. Whereas I can probably just play it a little slower. I think just casting Teferi here is fine. Could have like Force of Negation, but I imagine that's not very common in Zoo, at least not in this version. That was like a thing in the Murktide deck.
Yeah.
Yeah, see, I actually would have gotten punished too. Well, no, I guess not necessarily. I don't know what the next 3 cards are, but I found a land, but it wasn't a land that cast a fairy.
I did not draw a land, which would have made my turn a lot better.
Sure.
I think we're kind of forced to do this.
Yeah, fair. I kind of assumed that's what you were dealing with based on wanting to draw the land, that it was Scion plus deal with the Jace. Makes sense to me. This is all 5 colors here, right?
Yeah.
This one doesn't make blue though, so I don't have to worry about force current or stubborn currently. I think I'm gonna play the Ashiok, especially given that if you want to resolve, like, it's not that likely that you'll have like a hard cast stubborn up next turn, but this could also potentially hinder your mana going forward as well. You have binding, but that's not the end of the world. Um, yeah, that's fine. It's a pretty interesting game. This deck has a lot going on. I'm surprised.
Hmm. So I elected to play that just because it's bigger.
Sure.
So.
Yeah. I mean, it makes sense.
And also, if I like
It has
don't draw a
a better
land,
effect too.
yeah, if I
Like,
don't draw a land, I'd much rather.
yeah, it's also. I mean, it's also graveyard hate too. That becomes relevant.
Yeah.
Having another awkward situation where not having Metalcraft is really hurting me a lot here. So if I Rumble, well, Rumble's kind of bad because Kethis costs 3 different colors of mana, but the thing is, Kethis isn't doing that much for me right now because I can't really loop Opals when I don't have Metalcraft.
Yeah.
It turns on my Amber, but I don't have another Amber in the yard to make extra mana for anything. So I think it's just Rumble and try to find something else for now. Yeah, Emery seems pretty reasonable, I think. The mana in this deck is surprisingly awkward, and I don't know if it's in spite of all of the Plaza Gemstone Cavern stuff or because of it. It's unclear to me whether like a fetch land mana base would make it more reasonable. The thing is, I've had a really hard time casting like Malevolent Rumbles and stuff, so.
Yeah. I think the Gemstone Caverns might be cute, but that's just my opinion. So far.
Well, there's only one Gemstone Cavern, so it's not. I mean, obviously, drawing the one was not ideal. I would say the Plaza of Heroes has been, pretty awkward. Like, I'm not convinced that just being able to fetch a dual land wouldn't be better. Like, I mean, you're playing a 5-color deck right now with, without playing weird lands. It does seem like a 4-color deck shouldn't be out of the question with normal mana.
I probably have to get rid of the Ruinous Blast, just to like make sure that you don't reset the game.
Interesting. It feels like we're kind of far away from that, but maybe I'm wrong. I mean, it seems like if I have a Kethis in play and I'm making 5 mana, it's probably just analogous to win the game, right? Rather than trying to wrath the board.
Okay.
Okay, interesting. Oh, you know what's even more interesting though is I didn't even realize that I just straight up don't even have Kethis mana. Huh?
You do not.
Yeah. It's pretty awkward.
That could have been a reason to take the bauble, to be honest.
Yeah, sure. Alright, well, I guess this is gonna come in clutch, theoretically. I guess, I don't know. I guess some of these lands have more purpose than I imagined. Not sure that this, like, fully does what I wish it would, because Kethis doesn't give me blue mana.
Yeah, you can't cast Emery right now.
Right. Or just, I mean, like any blue spell, really. That's the bigger deterrent. Like, I'm trying to figure out if I can somehow turn black, white, or green mana into blue mana. I think the answer is yes. And that would be with Ashiok. So now the question becomes, can I play enough Mox Ambers to make all this work? I don't think I can really...
You think you can afford that many legendaries?
No, I was going to say I don't think I can really care about whether you have surgical or not. I think that's just happening. It's also not like the game is over if you like surgical my ambers here. It's just that we are still playing.
So if you play it from your graveyard, I have a chance to surgical it, right?
You cannot surgical spells on the stack, if that's what you're asking.
Wait, how do I tell which ones I have? It's the 3 highlighted yeses to them?
Yes. If you have them, the 3 of them highlighted, then yes. You did not successfully do that, though. I will just pretend that there are no Mox Ambers in my graveyard.
I was clicking them, and then it unhighlighted them, and I was like, okay. Like, it made them darker.
Mm-hmm.
I should have just clicked it. I knew I should have clicked it. It's my bad.
It's not a huge problem. That does put me at past the turn for now. Yeah, the Great Hall of the Citadel was really good on that turn. I don't even actually know that there was another card that would have done that.
Yeah, it was really good. We questioned it.
Yeah. I need to just preserve life total, yeah, because, like, I wouldn't honestly expect you to side out Tribal Flames in this matchup.
Okay, so... I did that wrong, because I was going to play Draco.
You were,
But I think that this is better.
Oh, okay. Sure, you're saying you didn't do this pre-combat?
Yeah, I was going to cast Draco, but, you know, the truth is that I should have done Emperor Bones, exile that, and then exile the Tamiyo. But I didn't do it, so maybe the Draco's better for that reason. Actually, now that I'm thinking about it, maybe I compounded my mistake, but again, like reverse compounded the mistake.
Sure. Once you've already decided to go to combat, the Draco's probably better.
Yeah.
Trying to remember. I think this was the game where I put the Agatha Soul Cauldron on the bottom because we talked about how I maybe could have cited it out. I think that there's maybe a way. Like, that would be my out to get Metalcraft here, is milling over an Agatha Soul Cauldron.
With an Emery?
Yes.
Did you draw Emery?
I think I may have exiled the Emery, though.
I exiled the Emery.
Just now?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Got it. Oh, I exiled Tamiyo and a Boseiju. That makes sense. I was wondering, I'm like, man, that seems like a really bad play. I usually wouldn't do that. So I'm glad to hear that I'm not completely slipping. Okay, so I can start off by casting this Ashiok from my hand to mill myself a little bit.
It even hits my Flage, which was like an out for me to win this game too.
You already need an ounce? Wow. Oh, it costs less mana than I thought it did too.
So powerful. And you just have a colorless floating.
Yeah.
Well,
and there's an Emery.
There's an Emery. And an Agatha Soul Cauldron.
Okay.
You're cooking with gas.
That might have actually done it then, assuming that you don't have another surgical. I guess we'll find out about that. But... Okay, so how do I do this now? So I can just play Soul Cauldron. That's the first step. Because that will turn on my Opal, which is what I need to have happen here. Oh, it also only costs 1 mana. Okay. So now, I need to be able to cast 3 Jaces. That's where we're at with this. So, how do I get to that point? So I can float with Mox Opal.
Don't forget that Mox Amber's not in your yard.
Emery. Yeah, I know. Next an Emery. There's a grinding station, but
did I say Mox Amber, not Mox Opal?
Yeah, I know what you meant.
This is the power of playtesting, by the way. Like, you know, we do these things where, like, maybe you make a little mistake and, like, you can just fix it with each other. Where I think that people undervalue that sometimes.
Sure. Trying to decide if there's a better way to do anything than how I'm doing it right now.
You could mill yourself for.
I mean, obviously, I can mill myself with the Jace. I guess that's probably just the way.
Yeah,
right? Like
and then that probably wins the game.
Myself, and then that should just do it.
Yeah.
It actually costs a little bit less as well. I probably don't need to do it for 15. Because I think mana will be actually a constraint here.
Did you just draw 3?
No, I milled 9.
Oh, okay.
I mean, technically, draw 9, really. Okay, let me see if there's anything else I want to cast before I reactivate this. I don't believe there is. So now I can get rid of a Soul Cauldron and a Teferi, or I guess a Boseiju. And then Opal. Each of these Jaces is 3 mana, so I need to be able to make 9. Which shouldn't be an issue, right? Yeah, I have way more than enough for that.
Yeah, I think you won. Can I make this way easier?
Yeah.
Can you just sacrifice the Emery on the Kethis, tap the Kethis, and had gotten grinding station?
How do I sack the Emery?
Isn't that what Soul Cauldron does?
No.
Oh, it's exile a card. Well, you have an Emery in your yard.
That's true. I could grinding station myself. I don't know if that necessarily makes it easier.
No, I'm just saying.
Yeah, that's a thought for sure. That is something I could have done and didn't necessarily look at. But yeah, I mean the thing that's taking a long time right now is just casting moss opals. So the grinding station's not really helping me there.
Well, except that you could loop ambers too. So
I can't. I don't have any ambers. I guess I have one amber.
You would have
yeah,
had an
true.
amber with the.
I have one amber. Yeah, I that's true. I would technically get one more thing per loop. But again, this isn't like.
No, it's
I don't think we're in
deterministic. Would you
danger.
like me to concede?
Yeah, you can concede.
Okay.
I mean, it's probably good practice anyway because you wouldn't want to show me all the cards in your deck. But yeah, I'm just gonna cast 2 more Jaces and then call it.
Okay, so do we need to switch decks for you? Or I guess you can just sideboard.
I'm just gonna put the gemstone in.
Perfect.
And I'm gonna take out probably just basic forest.
Sure.
The basic forest is actually kind of weird anyway. Not really sure how we came to that number.
I don't think you can ever keep a hand like this. Would you keep double Leyline of the Guild Pack, Leyline Binding, Treble Frames, Lightning Bolt, 2 lands?
Are they fetch lands?
No.
Yeah. Probably not. I think my hand is really slow on the draw. So my hand has double Agathis Soul Cauldron, which is already not great. It has an Emery, which is the thing that I like about it, and a Rumble. But it's not a turn 1 Emery because I only have 1/0. I don't know. I think it's slow, but I think you're supposed to keep it. It's hard to mulligan.
I'm gonna keep
hands that function like
this one-lander. Just like, I think it has enough interaction. Oh, except that I did the wrong thing. I thought that I was taking pregame actions.
Oh, you put the ley line on the bottom?
Yeah. Alright, well this hand doesn't function anymore. We should edit this out.
That's fine.
Okay. Oops, my bad.
That's okay. It is all good. I do need to edit my deck now, though.
Yeah, you're good now.
Okay, go ahead. This deck is better than I thought it would be.
It looks really good and kind of fun.
Yeah, I'm kind of impressed, to be honest.
Wait. Oh, yeah, that's right. Alright, just concede the game and then I can sideboard. Because I didn't change. I don't think I changed. Oh, no. Did I change mine? I think I did. We're good.
Okay.
Just make sure I'm on the play.
Yeah, I got it. It's going to be important for both of us because I have a bunch of gemstone lines in my deck. Or gemstone caverns.
Okay. I will keep this.
I mean, I'm going to keep mine. I'm not totally sure that this hand is necessarily good, but it could be.
Mine is just a mold of 6. But sure. I would keep this mold of 6.
My hand is not a mulligan, but it only does one thing, and I'm not sure if that thing is going to be good in a vacuum. So basically, I like the Emery stuff a lot more as like at least something to make you have to do in the early game. This hand just has like a Kethis and basically nothing.
Sure.
Although I'm really good at Magic.
That's like the third sick top deck you've had. I'm excited to watch the video back to see them.
What was the other ones?
One of them was an Emery. One of them was, I think, a Mox Opal.
Okay. I don't remember drawing the Emery, but that is what I drew this time.
Sick.
Now we'll see if I decide to punish myself again by drawing a card. I think the answer is no. I think I'm gonna refrain and make sure that I have Metalcraft this time, because that has been a pretty large problem. I think I definitely I bricked off on at least one pretty crucial top deck though, on either drawing a land or a 0 to cast a 2-mana spell in game 1 or game 2 rather. But yeah, the Emery here was certainly a sick top deck.
It's such a powerful Magic card.
Yeah, it really is though.
I think you've probably played more Emery than like most people I know too. Like you just really like that card.
It's so good.
She's just crowning you with Excalibur, man. I don't know.
It's a pretty good card.
My card?
I wish you wouldn't though.
That is good. It's kind of tough though. It's not like you just have the.
Yeah, I have the Soul Cauldron, so bolting the Emery doesn't necessarily do what you wish it would. And bolting the Tameo is still pretty good though. That being said, probably will lead to me putting Tameo. I mean, Tameo under the Soul Cauldron doesn't really do anything, but it does put a counter on my other creature. And the Soul Cauldron is like medium checking the Emperor of Bones. I guess you already have a Tameo under it if you really wanted.
Yeah. I actually don't know the right play here. It's got to just be kill the Tameo though.
That's fair. I'm not gonna lie, this deck doesn't feel not like Underworld Breach. It's not like exactly the same, but it's not.
It's not that different.
It's not the same. Yeah, I've like turn 1 Tameo, turn 1 Emery. You know, those things are still pretty good.
I feel very dead.
Yeah, the thing is, I don't have all the stuff in the graveyard that I think I might need.
You've got the bobble loop going though, so.
Okay. I also drew another Emery, which actually is really good. Both of the Emerys I drew in this game were great draws. But yeah, you know, grinding them out with the card advantage is always nice too. In case that this doesn't work out for me.
I think it will. I think this game is mostly over. I think I've seen this show before, and I didn't like the ending. So.
Okay, so I could cast an Amber and then go again, cast an Amber Emery. This is probably going to just be enough, right? Like,
yeah.
It's probably hard to imagine it doesn't work out for me at this point. One thing, it actually kind of requires a lot less cards in the graveyard to make a lot happen with Kethis, because you can cast all of them every time.
Right.
Like, the fact that Emery is just straight up +4 cards instead of, you know, +1 card like it is with Grinding Station. It's kind of fascinating. I guess the actual problem that I have here is that I don't have 2 copies of either Mox. So, I mean, that's just straight up going to be enough to have me pass the turn here. I guess there's no reason to activate anything right now, really.
Kind of.
Yeah, I think if I had 2 copies of either of the Moxen, this would have gone better. Yeah, I think that's probably just okay. I don't think I'm supposed to fight over this. Because I think I'm more inclined to fight over the Rona if you wanted to exile that, like, say, in combat, for example, because, like, having the Rona on the Kethis might be valuable. But you may also be just trying to draw cards here. I also happen to know, I don't think you fetched, right? So I know you have a Tribal Flames in your hand.
Yeah. You can adapt at instant speed, right? I'm not crazy.
Yeah, you can adapt whenever you like.
Oh, okay.
I think.
I mean, it's saying that I can activate it, so.
Yeah, I believe that's true. Exiling Teferi. Okay, that's interesting. Not what I would have expected.
I'm just trying to hit legendaries at this point.
Sure. It just seems like you could get 2 birds with 1 stone by getting the Rona, right?
Maybe you're right. Wait, if I can activate this, doesn't that kill your guy?
Well, I can put a counter on it with the Soul Cauldron.
I'm an idiot. Also, I can't activate it, so we were both wrong.
So it's 2 things, yeah. Okay, fair enough.
I like that we just don't know what our cards do. Great video.
I mean, I pretty much told you that was going to be an issue for me, is not knowing what the cards did, so I'm not surprised that I don't know what my cards do.
I could have looked up adapt. It's all good.
Okay, so your hand is Tribal Flames and nothing else?
Yep. We have 6, baby.
I guess there's some question of whether having Rona on the Kethis is even better than having an extra legendary in the graveyard. Probably is, though, I think. It hasn't felt like having legendaries in the graveyard has been the...
Oh, definitely not. I'm probably just wrong.
I'm not saying that will always be the case. I'm just saying that so far it has not felt like that was the limiting factor. Okay, well, that's a Grinding Station, so that's pretty good.
All right, well, that's game.
Yeah. I did have some really good draw steps in this game. I'll be the first to say I drew Emery Grinding Station off the top in those last 3 turns, so that was pretty...
Well, I will be on the play again.
Are there more games still? Wow,
yeah, that's
many.
That was game 4. You have won the match. I get to play for pride now.
No, yeah, that's fair. This deck is just like mentally taxing. I'm just gonna.
You know what? I think I'm supposed to board this. Who consumes all in though?
Sure, that's believable. Especially because it does like do some amount of graveyard hate.
No, oh well. I would like to play first for the last game.
Yeah, that makes sense. This one has just a small amount of awkwardness, but it's definitely a keep.
Dude, my hand's super duper awkward. We're gonna check my deck really quick.
Okay. The Great Hall of the Citadel's looking pretty bad in this hand, for what it's worth.
I'm gonna keep this.
Okay, yeah, your hand has similar awkwardness. Okay, well, I'm
Dude,
the greatest.
Are you so good at Magic?
I'm so good. I need your botanical sanctum.
I'm so glad this is the match that we have the hand cam on for.
Yeah. I mean, I would always tell you if I was ripping like Savage, so. I'm gonna just draw both of them now. So.
Cool. What am I drawing?
You're drawing a Temple Garden, which kind of pairs okay with your arena. I don't know what the rest of your mana looks like, but.
You have 4 cards, huh?
Have 4.
Are they good?
Most of them are not. There is one good card though. Reasonable. I will say I did not have a lot of success after drawing that Botanical Sanctum as far as my draws. So the rest of it didn't go nearly as well. It's pretty good. Let's get a Kethis off the top. Actually, Kethis off the top wouldn't even be playable right now. The Flage with the Arena of Glory is pretty nice, I'll say. I guess we're certainly a little ways away from casting Flage, but like you not having any fetch lands here is awkward. Ragavan. Well, it's got to be all spells on top of my deck, because I've just drawn only mana. Nailed it. That's actually so strong, too. So now we have Flage next turn.
Yeah. Wish I hadn't played my land.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, sure, because maybe you hit a 1. Or I guess even a 2. Like, I mean, honestly, even Leyline, or Scion of Draco, rather, could be a play that happened here. What did you grab? Sorry, Leyline Binding?
Yeah.
Okay. I also drew a Rumble, so I guess they were coming. Oh my Rumble was not very good.
Yeah, it was not.
Yeah.
What did you grab?
I grabbed the Mox Up Ball. The other options were all lands, so.
Okay. I think I have a plains in my deck, so we can do this.
Why would you ever grab the plains, though?
Why would I grab it with the fetch land?
Yeah.
Because I already have 5 colors of mana?
Fair enough. I mean, you're at 18 life, though, in a matchup where I'm definitely not attacking you.
Well, it's if I need the white mana for the... Oh, you know what, though? I'm definitely not doing that.
But you have, like, a Sacred Foundry or something in the deck, right? That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. Not only that, but I'm also doing something else. One, 2, 3, 4, 5. Thanks, Mason.
For not realizing that Arena of Glory with Flage is completely insane. I mean, I guess I could have actually stopped this from happening to me, but I think that I'm playing for a win instead of playing to not lose. I could be wrong. Maybe I'm just playing to lose, but I have a Beseiju in hand as my other spell, or my only spell really. And I could have killed the Arena of Glory, but I also know you have Leyline Binding in hand, so I thought that if I drew Kethis, I would rather be able to Beseiju the Binding. So, like, Kethis still wins the game here, I think. Maybe it doesn't, though. It at least has a shot of winning the game.
Did you draw it?
No, I hadn't taken a draw step yet. I was just thinking out loud. I drew another land. Literally, my hand is...
Mana sources?
I literally have only drawn mana sources since you were talking about the hand cam thing.
That's even better. All right, and I will take...
Even the Rumble was 4 mana sources. That was crazy. That was pretty good. Okay.
All right, that'll do it for Game 5. We will be right back with the postgame. So what happened, man?
In our match?
Yeah.
Well, I think that this... I don't know. Our sample size is really small, obviously. 5 games, right? It's not very large, but I was legitimately impressed by a lot of the things going on in this deck.
Yeah, I learned... I haven't, like I said, I haven't played Domains in a while, so I'll go first, because I think there's more to talk about with your deck.
Yeah, sure.
But, like, it felt like Domain really, really needed a velocity of cards and to be on the play and to have all 5 colors to have a shot, which is kind of a lot to ask. You know, and we talked before about how, like, the matchup against Grinding Station was kind of bad. And it never felt like I could get the big attack into, like, leaving up a counter spell. Because, like, even then, like, my counter spells don't really matter other than Jace, and you can just replay Jace. So it even makes, like, Stubborn Denial kind of awkward.
Yeah. Yeah, Stub didn't even seem like the counter spell that you'd want in this matchup, to be honest.
Yeah,
like, Leyline Binding seems like a stronger card in this matchup than Stub.
Yeah.
In a lot of ways.
Overall,
but even then, you can honestly play around the binding too, because if I had another Kethis in the graveyard, one Kethis activation lets me cast the other one from the graveyard right after I make mana.
I'm a pretty... I do think that the Zoo deck, I can see why it's getting all these 5-0s. You know, I think that it historically was supposedly good against Boros. So
I mean, I think that the combination, like, I don't think that the deck is necessarily good against Boros. I think that Leyline Scion is good against any fair deck.
Yeah.
It just goes over the top of every fair deck. So if you play against Boros and you have Leyline of the Guild Pact and Scion of Draco, you just can't lose. Just like free win.
So I think it's pretty strong. Was not unimpressed. Was not unimpressed with the deck. But what did you learn
About my deck or about yours, or just about
both.
the matchup in general?
Yeah, we can.
So I was surprised to feel like it felt like honestly, I I think that matchup actually feels really bad for Zoo, which I was surprised to find. Like I think I got really unlucky to lose Game 5.
Yeah,
Um, I think that. I mean, honestly, I got kind of unlucky to lose Game 2. If I had just drawn a land on turn 2, I actually think that I'm pretty favored to win that game as also. So I would say that was probably like a terrible matchup for Zoo, if anything.
yeah. I meant what did you learn about your deck, but I agree about the matchup.
Yeah. And I learned that the Kethis combo is way stronger than I thought it was. It's both faster than I thought it would be, and also has more of like a card advantage plan going on. I think that you could build the sideboard a lot better than the one that I currently have. I'm also looking over some other lists right now. Other people have built the mana base in a way that is more what I would expect. This one actually has 4 Spire of Industries, which I think is probably a great call.
Yeah, that card makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, so there's probably, I would say that there's also probably a lot of room to experiment with this deck. Like, I think that, like, this one's running Basim, which I think seems kind of cool. Like, there's probably a lot of stuff you could really, avenues you could explore with this deck.
Yeah, I totally agree.
Actually, this deck has me fairly excited, and I will probably work on this some.
That's dope. I love to hear that. Don't forget to check out our sponsor at Mana Traders. You can use the link in the description or use the code CCMPG2 to sign up. We appreciate Mana Traders, Matt and I. I mean, Matt, I'll just let you wax poetic about Mana Traders just for a second, just for the viewer.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I would... I've been endorsing them before we were even sponsored, so like I think Mana Traders is literally the reason that I play Magic right now. Like if Mana Traders didn't exist, I just would not play Magic. So that's, I don't know if I can give it a higher praise than that, but
yeah, they're pretty great. I love them. We both used Mana Traders to record this video, and use the code, check it out. MPGO is one of the best ways to improve at Magic the Gathering, which is what constructive criticism is all about. Thank you so much, Matt, for joining me this week. Like and subscribe, follow. I'm just going to say that we have a new editor for this that will be editing the video for us, and he is also in search of work. He is a Magic player who historically had edited constructive criticism that had to stop due to getting an awesome job that he no longer has, and he asked me if I needed work for him, and I thought this was the perfect project to send his way. So you can find his info as well in the show notes if you're a creator looking for an editor. We appreciate him all the way. Thank you so much, and we'll see you guys all next time with another Constructed Clash.